Welcome to the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent.
Steve, welcome back to Friday at 4, episode 66.
Wow, 66. Thanks, Chuck. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Glad to be here. Glad to be back with
yeah,
you again.
yeah. How's the weather up there? Down here in Maryland, it's a little snowy today. I came home early because I don't want to crash the car. And
Oh, well, don't do that. Not a good
right,
ending. No, no, no,
not a
no,
good
no.
ending.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
up here in around New York City, it's in the low 20s and it's chilly. It's
yeah,
real chilly. I put on my gloves for the first time when I was driving because the steering wheel, and I finally figured out, and you can laugh at me, today is a year that I have my car. Now it's a lease, okay? Today is the first time that I figured out where the button was to heat up the seats
yeah. That's
because they're
awesome.
leather seats and they are cold.
Yeah. I'm fortunate enough to have an app on mine so I can just start it before I go out. So I let it
Okay.
run for 15, 20 minutes and then I jump in.
Yeah. See, mine's a lease, and I purposely got the base bottom of the line, put the key in,
Right.
it starts and you go, that type.
Keep
But
going.
you know what? But for the little bit so again, today's a year and I have under 5,000 miles.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
if I did a lot of driving, I would say, okay, I need this feature and that feature. But for the little bit that I'm in the car, why pay for it?
Yeah. My car will be 2 years old in January, and we're not going to talk about the miles I have on my car.
Uh, well, you
I'm
also
on the
drive,
road a
so
lot. So, I
yeah.
mean, it makes sense, but, you
Hmm.
know, yeah, so so I've got December worked out on what I'm working on for the end of the year for the show.
Oh, good,
And I'm
good.
focused on January. I'm stressed out. I shouldn't be because I'm trying to figure out what to do for January. I've got these
Good.
ideas. I've got to travel, and I'm stressing because I don't know what I want to do yet. And it's
Mm.
January. It's like, Chuck, slow down. You got a whole month. So
Yeah, the month goes quick though.
it does. Yeah.
It goes quick,
As I
and
found out with the November episode with the Thanksgiving dinner plate, waiting 2 weeks to finally, because everything else fell through,
mm,
only had 2 weeks to film and edit. I was stressed, but I made it. I made
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
but
did it.
stress is not always a good thing. So,
Yeah, it definitely. Well, it got me, but I made
yeah.
it. So what you got today? Let's get this thing rolling and let's not bore our audience with our stuff.
Stuff, is that the technical term or stuff?
That's
Okay.
the technical term is stuff or rare stuff we're doing.
Stuff. So because, and we all know, we live in a crazy world and it's getting crazier by the day,
About a second.
by the second. Um, things can happen unexpectedly, and we know this. Hopefully what happens isn't life-threatening. We hope, so let's keep it away from that side. But from a different perspective, there are certain things that happen that are unexpected.
Yeah.
For example, my sinus infection is still getting me in here. That's why. Okay.
Yeah.
So one
Gotcha.
of the things, and I came up with four basic unexpected things that we can kick around back and forth. So one that's unexpected has to do with the car. So we plan as much as we can that after a certain number of miles, the tires will need to be replaced. After so many miles, the oil needs to be replaced. There are certain maintenance things you can do to keep it running longer, but at some point, certain things have to be done. Otherwise, the car stops running, which is more expensive than to do the maintenance. So if those expenses are somewhat planned, what happens if you get the unexpected transmission that goes out? That's a couple of $1,000 to fix, or an unexpected blowout on a tire, or something happens to the engine. You do your normal basic maintenance, but anything's possible. It's a machine. It's mechanical. So what do you do in the case where something happens with a car that's out of the normal that you have not planned for? How do you pay for it? Then you get another category, and we'll talk once I go through the four categories. We'll talk a little bit about some options of how to plan for the unexpected. So the second item is home repairs. Now, if you rent and you have a decent landlord who will fix those unexpected things, yeah, that's great. But if you own a home, how do you plan for the unexpected roof that has a problem in a storm? You lose a couple of tiles, you get an unexpected leak. How do you plan for a hot water heater that's supposed to be 6 years that goes out in 4? How do you plan for the hot water heater? I'm sorry, the boiler, which is a much more expensive. You have cracks in the driveway or the sidewalk that you have to fix, or if somebody steps and falls on it, they can sue you. So you got to fix the crack. Um, you
I want to
know,
add to that list real fast. Just a little funny side note. In the midst of my divorce, my ex-wife had called me and said, "Can you come over to the house and look at something in the basement? We got us a problem." I drove over and walked down the steps, and there was 6 inches of water. The sump pump had quit, and it
ooh,
wasn't yeah. Everything in the basement was ruined. Everything. Yeah,
ooh, ooh,
that you
ooh.
better believe that was a costly fix.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Yeah,
Oof, oof.
yeah.
So, yeah, and that's a fix because then you got water damage and mold damage and God knows
Yeah.
what's in there. And you got to
Yep.
hope that your insurance, if you have it, covers it. And yeah, there's all that type of stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
I lived in an apartment a bunch of years ago in a two family, and we're upstairs and downstairs. All of a sudden, you hear this thud. I mean, a thud, and then you heard glass shattering and something's not right. So we go running downstairs to make sure everybody's okay. They had put a big, big, like 60-inch screen TV. They bolted into the wall, with those heavy duty mollies and whatever they call those, the big heavy duty that supposedly supported to the sheetrock. Well, something happened and it fell. I don't know
Uh,
what one, and then the other three came with it. Who knows? But this
right.
big TV was on the floor. Of course, the screen faced down because, it fell off the wall this way.
Yeah,
And so, unexpected. Like you said, the water damage, a washer or dryer, a stove, a refrigerator, something that goes, but it's your house. And a lot of that basic stuff is not covered by insurance. So it's yours. So how do
yeah,
you plan for all those things? Because they're unexpected.
yeah.
Um,
I know Steve's got a plan. Let's hear
we're not there
it.
yet. We're not there yet. We're still going down the bad side.
The bad
The
side,
bad side, the unexpected side.
the
Um,
unexpected.
then you get another category is the medical. Now, again, anything can happen. People who've watched this show for a while know my story. A year and a half ago, I was out for a walk and I got hit by a car. I was
Wow.
walking.
Yeah,
How do you plan for that?
yeah,
You know, um, you could be in school and you're playing a basketball game, a football game, a soccer game, and something happens, you land wrong, you twist wrong, boom, there goes an ankle, there goes a knee, there goes an ACL,
yeah,
you broke a nose. How do you plan for the unexpected medical? God forbid there's a heart attack, something more serious. How do you plan for that stuff?
yeah,
Um, and then you have any kind of family emergencies. So, what happens if a parent, a sibling, a child has some emergency and you need to help them out, or they ask
yeah,
you for your help, or even in your own family, something happens, not yourself, but in the family? Again, somebody slips, somebody falls, whatever. So, you have all these categories, and then, of course, there's plenty more. But how do you plan for the unexpected?
yeah,
And what makes it so tough is because we live in an economy that is not the best right now. And again, we talk about this all the time. Government says one thing, we know better because we're in it every day.
Yes.
Um, and
Yes.
how do you plan? How do you plan? So one of the things that I tell all of my current and future clients or potential clients is where you can start an emergency fund. And it's called an emergency fund because it's for emergencies. See, I went to college, right? It's for emergencies. So if you're doing okay, figure out 100 a month, 200 a month, 300 a month if you can. If you can't, try for $25 a month. Something is better than nothing.
Yeah.
And the key is to put money away every month and not touch it unless it truly is an emergency.
Yeah.
Now, it may not seem like a lot, but if we all hope and nothing does happen, that $25 a month will eventually grow to some decent amount of money. So when that
Yeah.
emergency does happen, now you at least can either cover the cost or at least part of the cost to make it easier to pay off the balance.
Yeah. I know a lot of small business owners that when I talk to when they first start out to get a business loan or however they get their cash together, they put about third back. That way, if something
Okay.
happens,
Hmm.
whether it's an emergency in the business or personal, they have something. And I want to throw that out there because I know, we talk a lot about different things, but I want to make sure that we're hitting business owners as well. And I know you'll get to that, but
Yeah.
I just want to put it out there that, you know, it's important for small business owners to make sure they're protecting themselves as well, because even though you don't own the building, you lease it, it's covered by the landlord, but your equipment may not be, your interior
Correct.
stuff may not be, unless you have renter's insurance, and that's a whole other thing we can
Right.
talk about. But I just want to make sure I put that out there because I know some people are like me, fly by the seat of their pants and they hope that they can just push through and the whole big sun just keeps shining everywhere. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. And we
And
all
you
hope.
push through.
Yeah. We all
Yeah,
hope that things are good, but there'll
yeah,
always be something that is
yeah,
outside of. And how do you plan for that? Because we don't know. We hope it's
yeah.
never going to happen, but it
Yes.
might. Uh,
I got
so,
lucky a couple months ago. I just got this. I tried to transfer and move some balance around on a credit card, so I got this credit card, and I got lucky. It had just enough balance when the car broke to fix that piece on it, so it kept the car running. I was very fortunate.
yeah. Yeah. And what if you don't? What if in your case that car for what you're doing driving is your lifeline and now it's not there? Now what do you do? Yeah. So it's important to have that little extra just in case.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
Another thing with credit cards, where you can, and again, I understand it's a tough economy, but where you can, try to keep either a zero balance, which means what you charge, you pay off. You don't carry anything and pay it off month to month. If you can, one of the things that I've recently worked with a couple of different clients on is if you have a balance and your interest rate is really high, call up the credit card company and ask them to lower the interest rate or put a hold on the rate for a while to give you a chance to pay down the balance. So when interest starts up again, there's less interest being charged. But unless you make that phone call, you'll never know whether you can reduce and save you money.
Yeah.
Another option. Now, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say.
Oh, okay.
So I was just going to say. So we got to the negative side. What's the positive side to this? Because we're talking about all
So,
this.
yeah. Well, these are real kind of positives, but again, everything there is no one right answer because
Yeah,
people's
yeah,
situations are different. So again,
yeah,
to create that emergency fund, to try to keep your credit card balances low, to give you that leeway just in case. These are the positives. The
yeah,
other thing is if you own a house, and you have equity in the house, and equity just means that you owe less than the house is worth. So if the house is worth 200,000 and your mortgage is 100,000, you have $100,000 of equity. If you do have equity and your financial situation is okay, you have a job, you're current on your bills, apply to a bank or wherever you have your mortgage, apply for a home equity loan. The reason you want to do that now, the financial institution should have a zero or very, very low cost to getting that line or that loan or that not a loan, it's a line of credit. The reason you want to do that when times are good, again, you have the job, you're current on your bills, is if you have that emergency or if for some reason you're between jobs and you need the money, you're not going to get it. You'll only get the money when times are better. And you only
Tricky one,
pay,
right?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Yeah,
It is.
yeah,
And you only pay on that line of credit if you take money against it. So let's say in that example, the house is worth 200, your mortgage is 100, you have 100 in between. Of that 100, let's say you take a $25,000 line of credit. It costs you nothing to keep it on the side just in case.
right.
But if something happens, you have up to $25,000 you can tap into.
Yeah.
And yes, you do have to pay off the 25. I get it. But
Right.
but at
The
least
whole
it
other thing.
allows you to get through that emergency
Yeah.
so that your car can go, continue to run. You can put heat in the house. You could put the new tire on the car. Um, you can maybe pay that doctor bill. That's what it gives you that ability to do. So there are ways around it. And that's all and everything I just talked about is really for the individual or family. On the business side, similar things. So again, where possible, create an emergency fund because you could potentially need a new piece of equipment that you don't have money for. One, could break. You need another one for whatever reason. You need inventory. Any number of things can happen. Where do you get the money from if business is not as good as we would all like it to be? So have that emergency fund a little bit every month. Again, on the credit card side, try to keep as close to zero balance as you can. If you have, and I mentioned this once before, when you buy something, you're going to get the bill. So let's say you charge or you order $100 worth of merchandise and they send you the bill for $100. What the bill in many cases will say is, yes, you owe 100, but if you pay it within the next, I don't know, 7 days, 10 days, we'll reduce it by 3%, 4%, 5%. Now, it may not sound like a lot. It's two, three, four, $5. But on a larger scale, what if you had a $10,000 bill, a $100,000 bill, or you have bills every month? So if you could save 100 here, 200 there, 300 somewhere else, every bill for a year, you could save thousands and thousands of dollars. So
Yeah.
this is like, it's not an emergency, but if people give you a discount, take the discount.
Yeah.
It's legal. It saves you money. Everybody's happy because you're happy you paid less. The person who gave you that, let's say in this case, that inventory, they're happy because they got their money faster so they can pay their bills.
Yeah.
So everybody wins in that scenario. So
Yeah.
that's a business. Um, they don't call it a HELOC because it's a home equity line of credit, but you could take a business loan along the same lines. And I forget what they call it. It's not called a business loan. It's called something else. But you could take that line of credit and have it available to you, again, just in case in the business you have that flood that insurance doesn't cover. A car runs through the plate glass window, need a piece of equipment that without it, your business doesn't run. You can now use that money, pay off, and then keep running and keep earning revenue. And then you
Yeah.
pay back the line, and that's fine. But, so there are ways on both an individual side and a business side that you should plan as much as you can. Now, you could sit there and say, you know, I've been really lucky and I'm putting away whatever I'm putting away every month. It's now 5 years later. I have so much money put away and I've never used it. Now, a couple of thoughts in there. Somebody will say, I have all this money, I've never used it. I'm going to take a vacation. It kind of sort of defeats the purpose of emergency fund.
Just let it go.
Let just keep it there.
Keep it
Um,
there.
if you get to that point, you have that kind of money put away and you feel comfortable, then stop putting any additional, but again, earmark it as emergency. So what you were putting in every month, you can now use for other things.
What I did, I kind of did like I did with my when I was building my retirement, which I don't have anymore, for divorce reasons. But what I did, I was very aggressive with it, and then aggressive early, and then as time goes by, you can slack off a little bit. So you build it quick at first, and then you can taper off and plateau, and just cruise with a little bit of money, so you have some play money. For example, if you're putting in $300 a month for the first 4 years, drop it back to 200 a month. Now you got $200 a month to play with, the thought, you know?
But get to that point, and there is no magic number, but
Yeah.
get to that point where maybe your goal is 1 month's rent. Maybe your goal is to replace a particular piece of equipment. So when you get to that point, to what you just said, either slow it down or stop. But
Yeah.
at least you're able to cover that emergency flood, equipment, inventory, something. Yeah.
Yeah. I get it. I'm a big proponent of not stopping.
Right.
Every month
Mhm.
put something, if it's $5, $10, 20, whatever you can afford. If
Right.
you have a tough month with the economy the way it is, and
Hmm.
you can't afford it, but if you really can't do it, then I don't know, $5, anything, rather
Right.
than not doing putting nothing in,
Correct.
because nothing's never going to get you forward, right? I'm a big proponent of that, man. If you do nothing, you have nothing, you
Correct.
know? Yeah. So I don't know, always put something. If you,
Right.
like I say, if you're doing 400 and you can't do 400, then put 25, 50, 100, do something.
Right. Right. Better
Yeah.
to do something. You're right. Better to do something than nothing because you never
Yeah.
know.
Right.
Yeah.
Zero from zero is zero. If you have nothing, you're not going to fix nothing.
That's right. It's true. And
The
you're okay
scary
with
thing is, yeah, the scary thing, I was doing a restaurant company website a couple months ago. Back, I think we talked about this in one of the previous episodes. I was just cruising around their website. It was equipment for restaurants. And I'm gonna tell you, man, some of those pieces of equipment were super expensive.
were
And to
they?
your point, if you don't have $15,000 to replace that
Mm,
oven that you need your business to run, you're not going to run your business. You're out of business,
correct. Correct.
you know? And yes, I've seen small ovens that are going $15,000. And I was like, but I'm not in the baking business. Yeah,
Oh,
it was insane. Yeah.
yeah. See, I have different um expectations. So you go into and you're gonna laugh at me. You go into a restaurant and it's a $15,000 piece of something. I'll go buy a $20 toaster oven. I'm fine. Doesn't exactly cut it in a restaurant, but
Yeah.
okay. Again, different
When you
perspectives.
have
Okay.
when you have 15 customers lined up and you wait a minute, click, click.
Yeah.
Give me 3 minutes for 2 pieces of bread.
Right, right. Doesn't
They're not gonna be
exactly
happy
work the
with it.
same way. But your point is
Right.
valid. If you're in a
Yeah.
restaurant and a piece of equipment unexpectedly goes, if you can't get another one quick, you
Yeah.
could be out of business.
Yeah. I was amazed that
Yeah.
if you just take your basic restaurant, I was amazed at what each piece of equipment.
Mm.
I mean, we're talking close to $150,000 in just equipment in
Wow.
a small business. And yeah, and you wonder why prices are going up and they're raising prices on stuff because
Yep.
it's expensive.
It is.
It's
It
expensive.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Between the
Yeah,
equipment and food has gone through the roof.
yeah, it has.
Um, yeah. My daughter works in Manhattan, in New York City. And she said the price of food and stuff has just gone through the roof.
Yeah, I'm looking at January's episode. I'm a month ahead, looking at January's
Mm.
episode for the show, and I'm looking at places to go, and I'm like, oh. It's amazing.
It
I'm
is.
amazed.
Yeah, it's tough. It's
But
tough.
that's something we all battle every day.
Right.
And these emergency funds will help with that if things happen.
Yeah.
And we'll have something to put back that we can help keep us moving forward when we need
Right.
it, right?
Right. Yeah. And it impacts your customers, my customers. It impacts everybody.
Yeah, yeah,
And it is tough. So again, to your
yeah,
point, whatever you can put aside doesn't
yeah,
have to be $100. Could be 10, 20, 30, 50, whatever. But put it aside every month. And
yeah,
again, earmark it as emergency. So
yeah.
just in case. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in need of getting my brakes done before the end of the month.
Mm.
So I've been trying to scrounge up to get that together. So it's I keep looking at my little envelope with the greens in it. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going,
Yeah.
Chuck. We got to get it done for the end of the month.
Y-
Well, I know
Yeah.
you have all kinds of ideas. You can personally help with people, one on one. They reach out to you at 516-727-2294. I'm sure you have all kinds of ways that you can help people out and give them some creative ideas to get them out of this hole that they're in, or if they need an emergency fund, you're more than happy to walk them through it.
Yeah. You know, I, I enjoy and then get great a lot of pleasure out of helping people.
Yeah,
It's a quick call, there's no charge, and you never know what we may be able to figure out.
yeah,
The
yeah,
hardest thing to do, and it's happened to me, the hardest thing to do is you're in a situation and you get so caught up in the situation that it's hard to step back and say, okay, take a breath. Let's look at it from a different angle, a different perspective,
yeah,
and then maybe it'll make some sense. So if you're caught in that, I don't know what to do, I'm going crazy, you just need to talk to somebody.
yeah,
Maybe somebody can give you an idea of, oh, have you tried this? Have you tried that? It could
yeah,
be as simple as that. Could be
yeah,
more complicated, but it could be as simple as that. So
yeah,
instead of driving yourself crazy, call, see what's
yeah,
and the same thing with you
exactly.
with the restaurants you go into. You're giving them ideas of what's working, what's potentially could be improved, and they may get crazy, like, I don't know how to do this, I can't. But then they're gonna talk to you, and then you can like, okay, calm down. Let's talk about it. Let's prioritize it. If you have limited funds, what should we do first? What should we do second? What should we do third?
Yeah.
That's all part of what we both do.
That's what I love about what I do. If you don't have that emergency fund built up, work with me. I can show you how your business processes aren't perfect, which they probably never are, but you can get close to
Mm.
perfect. I can help you streamline things to
Mhm.
get that money to put aside for that emergency fund, right?
Right. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah. But again,
yeah,
you always need that other person to talk you through. Again, you're in the situation, your judgment is clouded. Let somebody on the outside come in and suggest things to you. What you
yeah,
do, of course, is up to
absolutely.
you, but at least
Yeah,
have that independent idea or ideas.
got it. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, Steve, what another great episode. Appreciate
Yeah.
you. This conversation's great. I love talking about this kind of stuff because when it comes to money, it can go both ways in both our businesses, right? And you got both sides of it. You're from
Yeah.
the financial side, I'm from the business side. And it works together because
It
we can
does.
really, you take a small business and they talk to both of us, we can really streamline some financials for
Yeah.
them. We really
Yeah.
can.
Of course we
No,
could.
yeah,
But yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. All right. So
yeah.
we're good.
Well, Steve, it's been coming to an end of another episode at Friday for a podcast here because
It's 4 o'clock somewhere.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, It's a nice cold Friday. I don't know what the weekend's going to be like, but try to stay warm, stay inside if you can, and have a great
Too.
rest of the day. Enjoy the
You too.
weekend, and we'll chat soon.
You got it. Thanks, everyone.
Good.
Appreciate it.
Steve,
Take,
take care, buddy. We'll talk soon, man.
you got it, Chuck. Thanks. Have a great night.
Got it. You
Take
too,
care.
buddy.
Bye bye.
Bye.
You've been watching the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent. Thanks for watching.